Going on, Bridging the Gap? Hey, this is going to be a short video. I mentioned to you guys, actually asked for some of you to pray for us because we were going to be going to the northern part of Ghana, to the Tamale region, specifically to a smaller community called St. Paula. And we were looking at basically ministry needs, charitable needs. And I mentioned to you guys a young man by the name of Cornelius Ibrahim. Well, we got to spend some time with Cornelius our first 4 days of this last trip, and put a little bit of it on video just so you guys can get a feel, because we are going to be doing hopefully a substantial amount of work in the ministry with Cornelius in the northern part of Ghana. So I just thought I'd introduce him to you guys, and for those of you who have been praying, we appreciate it, and let you kind of get familiar with the young man that we're going to be working with closely. So I'm here with my good friend, Mr. Cornelius Ibrahim. Some of you have heard us talk about Cornelius up in the northern region of Ghana. For those of you who are on my Facebook page, you've seen him reference me as Daddy quite often. This is the young man that is commenting on my posts and that we've talked about so much. We've been here for the last few days with Cornelius here in the north, and just wanted to kind of introduce him to you guys, because you're going to be hearing a lot about him, and you're going to be hearing a lot about the efforts here in northern Ghana. So it's been a good couple days.
Yeah, and it has been a wonderful. And you guys have really been a blessing to us.
That's the plan. That's what we're here for.
And we thank you for that.
Yeah. So what I want to do is familiarize you guys with who Cornelius is and what Cornelius does. Cornelius is a member of a church, but Cornelius runs a ministry of his own that we're sitting inside of now, called the Touching Lives Center. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Touching Lives?
Well, Touching Life Center is a non-profit ministry that has a vision to support the rural, the poor, and the destitute, which we have started doing by picking up girls on the streets, bringing them, giving them different kind of skills training, a different kind of vocation to be able to better their lives, give them future, give them hope, and give them a requirable job so that they can be on their own. Because we found out that many girls have found themselves on streets, and guys have taken advantage of them, impregnating them. All lot of things are going on, which we want to try and then to minimize or to stop it. Yeah.
You were mentioning to me that if a young lady in the north doesn't have a husband, she really doesn't have anybody to care for her.
That is exactly. That is why some of them force to give themselves to men, because they want money, but they don't have anything to do to get that money. So the only way to get that money is to get closer to a man, which they don't give the money free. It's on exchange by bodies.
Right.
Yeah.
And those are the women that you're targeting.
Exactly, because some of them have babies, but we have to bring them in to be able to take care of them. And by doing that, I think we need to love them first. We need to show them love, to let them know that despite of what is happening to them, they are still part of the society and their lives matter. And we can do something and change and transform their lives.
As the old saying goes, people don't care what you know until they know that you care.
Exactly. That's true.
Absolutely. So outside of the women who are not married in the area, what are some of the other challenges that?
The other challenges has to do with farming. First of all, we have a very big VAT land in the north. You don't need to buy a land before you do farming. You can farm as many as you can. You don't need anybody to give you a license for farming.
So if I wanted to go out and farm 100 acres, and if I could do it,
1 million acres,
1
you
million.
can do. The land is there, not for sale. And you don't need license before you go into farming. But the greatest challenge is the communities, they don't have money for plowing. They have the land. So all that they can do is from hand to mouth. They can't cultivate to sell, to take care of their kids and take care of the needs of the family.
So there's no profit in it. It's just basically farming to feed the family.
That is it. And the second challenge has to do with drinking water. It is a very big challenge. Even as we are speaking, people have to travel for several miles before they could get drinking water. I think when we went to the community, you witnessed and you saw the kind of water human beings drink. And it will amaze you. If you go far, you will see cows, you will see dogs, you will see sheep, you will see goats drinking the same water with human beings, which is not a new thing in the north. Simply because that is the only source of getting their drinking water. And to me, I feel bad, but I don't have it to do it for them. And the third thing has to do with the youth. We have a lot of youth outside. They need to get jobs, they need to start businesses of their own. They need to take advantage of the resources that we have in the north, but they don't know. So one of my heart desires is to say, how can I help them? And how can people come to their aid? So that, because all this thing is to transform their life. It is not about us, it is not about the money, but it is about the life of the people that matters most.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you want to talk a little bit about solutions to these problems? What needs to be brought to bear to address some of these things?
I think a solution to get this thing done is we need more hands. We need people's hands. What I mean hands is we need people's support financially, and then in terms of anything that we can all do to support, because we all know that one man cannot do everything. So at least if they are brethren who can support in terms of providing potable drinking water for communities, if there are others who can also support youth to get businesses, to run businesses, or to support girls in vocational skills training, or to support those who want to go into farming, I think we appreciate it. These are the many challenges that we would like to invite people across the board to come to our aid. We really need it.
Well, Cornelius, what I want to tell you is that, we made an agreement that the next time we were in Ghana that we would come see the North, and that you would show me what needs to be addressed, and we're here now and we've seen what needs to be addressed, and the level of accountability that you've shown with the little that we've done to support your ministry, and what we've seen here just in what you're doing in this community, tells me that you're the right man for the job. And so what we're going to do from this point forward is we're going to reach out to as many people as we can and expose them to the challenges that you guys are facing here and the work that you're doing, because it's obvious that it's all about kingdom work for you. It's not about self.
Yes.
And somebody needs to put hands and feet to the ministry alongside you, because you cannot do it all by yourself. So you have that commitment from my wife and I that we will spread the word and contribute what we can on our own to make a difference in this part of Ghana.
Thank you.
We love you, man.
Thank you.
So welcome to the Touching Life Center. This is Cornelius's heart. This is what he's put together for this community. Want to ask you, this was the first structure that you built for your community.
Yes.
When did you build this? When did you put this up?
We started building it in 2016 and we completed it in 2017.
2017?
Yeah, actually I was in the city. So after graduating the second batch, myself and my wife decided that we need to relocate, be with the community, work with the community, so that they can feel us, we can also feel them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you say graduated the second batch. You're graduating.
Yeah, we have graduated several number of street girls, destitute, those who have found themselves, impregnated them, and those who sleep on the street, those who sleep in the market. We are able to train 37 of them.
37?
37, and we have given them sewing machines. We are able to help them to establish, but it wasn't easy. Wow. Because we have to sell some of our properties to be able to assist them, because we do not have the money and we do not have the support. So the only way to get it done, because that is our joy, to see them working.
So all of those 37 have graduated and now gainfully employed.
Are working for themselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
Working for themselves?
Yeah.
What kind of work are they doing?
They make clothing, they make bags, they make sandals, they make all different kind of soaps. They do weaving.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you just basically trained them into entrepreneurship.
Yes, sir.
And now they can maintain themselves.
So that they will not depend on only one business. If this one is not matching at the area where you are, you can pick up this one. So that is why we thought that there is a need for us to be able to train them in a different vocation.
Multiple streams of income.
And I can bet you they are doing well today. Some of them have married, and anytime when we go to their shops or to their business side, we feel the joy and the happiness. And we know that all that we've given up, we have seen it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge. So Cornelius, tell us what this building is. If I'm not mistaken, we had a little something to do with this.
Yeah. Actually, it was by the support of Mr. and Mrs. Grant that we were able to complete this building. It wasn't easy when we raised it, but then we never met him and we didn't know him and he didn't know who is Cornelius is. So I have been speaking with him and he was able to support us and we completed the whole building. And the building is made for, we have some rooms here which is made for myself and my family. And then we have a hall here where we have a guest or visitors where they can sit down to relax. And then we have a kitchen. Maybe when you travel all the way from Tamale to Sankpala and travel all the way from Sankpala back to Tamale for lunch, we can organize so that something can be cooked for visitors.
Nice.
To have meal to eat and relax, so that when it is time for them to go back, then they can go back to town. It's better than coming and when it is lunchtime, you go back to Tamale to eat. Maybe you may want to do a lot of things here, but you have to go eat.
Right.
But I think if you have it here, you can spend the morning till evening.
Amen.
Without spending another fuel or money to go back. And we are hoping that if God opened the doors, we also want to have another guest house for visitors who come in. The money spending in hotels and all huge monies can be easily be saved.
So what I'm hearing is you're looking for more ways to serve people.
Yeah.
What's this over here? We got one more structure. What's this all about?
Yeah, over here where we are going, it's actually one of my heart desire and one of my vision.
One of your visions?
Yeah, because if you look around us now, we have the region. We don't have a place where the youth can acquire a technological training. You know, now the world is a global.
Yeah.
You need to have a little bit knowledge of computer and other things. So if you look around, it's like you have to travel to Tamale or a very far place before you can get the training. Even if you get the training, you also have to take resources. Because a week ago, a young man told me he went to Tamale and he has to pay 1,500 Ghana cedis so that he can be trained. That is per term to be trained. And they don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
So I believe that if I am able to do it for the communities all over around, it's going to be a blessing, not to the only communities, but to the nation Ghana.
Right.
Because a lot of people will come and acquire knowledge, and it will give them a very good job.
So this is computer training center.
Yeah.
Technological skills.
Technological skills.
So you're training them in making soaps, in sewing, making clothing, bags,
Yeah.
weaving,
Yeah.
and computer skills.
Yeah.
All here.
Yeah, all here. And very soon we are looking at started bakery to teach people how to bake bread. Yeah, how to bake bread.
And you're doing this all by yourself.
We are doing it all by ourselves without salary.
Without salary.
Yeah, we do it without salary.
Well, brother, you're not doing it alone anymore.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, as you can see, there's major needs in the northern part of Ghana. I'm sure there's major needs in other areas as well, but in particular, where Cornelius is operating his ministry in the St. Paulo region, there are some serious challenges and some needs that need to be met. And in this region of Ghana, it's going to be ministry for us, for Cheryl and I. We're not really focused on doing business there. We will be eventually, but right now, we just want to pour into the people. So here in the next few days or so, we'll be doing a video sharing with you guys the needs and what is needed and what we're trying to pull together to help in that region. I just want you guys to get familiar with Cornelius. And now I just want to tell you a little bit about who this young man is. It's not just that he has a heart to do for people in need, but he's responsible and accountable on a level that is refreshing, because you don't see that often. From the time I sent a few $100s for them to build that first building that you guys saw in the video, from the time Cheryl and I sent that, Cornelius was Johnny on the spot every day. From the time they got the cement to they got the bricks to they started composing the building, every step of the way he was letting me know exactly what is going on, which is honorable. Now, the computer center, that's actually an interesting story, so I think I'm going to share this with you. So there's a couple that reached out to us because they were watching the channel and wanted to connect with us, and remembered that I had talked about Cornelius. So the lady went on to Facebook and found Cornelius and saw that he was friends with Cheryl and sent Cheryl a friend request. So Cheryl mentioned to me that this young lady and her husband wanted to talk with us. And I said, okay, well, let's talk. And she said, I think she has something to do with basketball or something. And I was like, okay, where's she from? She said, she's from Houston. And I said, is her name Cheryl Swoops? She said, yeah, how'd you know that? I said, because she's only in WNBA Legend. So it was funny. I just kind of had this feeling that that's who it was. So we had a conversation with Cheryl and her husband Chris, and they ended up getting connected with Cornelius, and they gave the money for that computer center that you saw that Cornelius is in the process of building. It was because of Chris and Cheryl Swoops, who, by the way, guys, have their own foundation and are pulling together funds for the continent. So I'll be talking to you a little bit more about back to our roots, which is their foundation, in other videos. But I wanted you guys to know that the level of accountability that Cheryl and I saw in dealing with Cornelius is the exact same thing that Cheryl and Chris saw in dealing with Cornelius. This young man has the heart to do the work, and he's accountable for everything that he says he will do. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys a feel for him, because we are going to make a push. And we're going to ask those of you who are kingdom-minded to join us in this push. And we'll be announcing what that is here shortly. But it was a treat It was a pleasure to see the ministry that he's running by himself with really virtually no support, and to meet the young man that has been referring to me as daddy because he's just that respectful. He refuses to call me by my first name, and I will say at this point in time, I'm more than happy to recognize him as my spiritual son. He is that sound of an individual, and there's so much work that needs to be done that we're going to do everything we can to help meet the need. I know we can't meet it all, but I think together we can put a pretty big dent in some of the challenges they have in this small community. And hopefully, guys, we can set that out as a model for other people or other groups to duplicate moving forward, because the rural areas in Ghana just don't get the kind of attention that they should. So we have other projects that are business projects. This one here is going to be strictly ministry. So I wanted to introduce you to the young man who's in charge of all of that. With that, we will talk to you soon.